Hey everybody, welcome back. I decided to cut my hair off. And a lot of you that watch my videos know that I trade with my hairdresser, so I get my hair done for free. So I decided to cut, I think it was like 6 inches or 8 inches off. And it's a lot more freeing. It's so light. I also always choose to do these videos after I've been playing outside with the kids. So I'm like super hot. I had to change my clothes because it's probably 100 degrees outside and we were picking produce in the garden. But this is just like the time frame that works for me when my kids are napping and doing quiet time. So it's typically right after we're outside because we try to get outside every day. So this is my most requested video topic from a poll or like a question box I did on Instagram, and it was reselling. So I'm going to give you some basic reselling tips today, and this is mainly geared toward Poshmark because that's just what I like to do. I've also done eBay before, but Poshmark simplicity is amazing. The simplicity of it is amazing for someone who has 2 kids and is running a side business and has to deal with regular life all the time. It's just easy. So a little bit about me. When we were paying off our debt, I got into reselling as an extra form of income. During my best months, I would spend about $200 on product and I would gross about 1K in sales, and I would work anywhere from 5 to 12 hours a month, not very much. And then just know I'm not a tax professional, but if you do sell a lot of stuff, you will have to report it on your taxes and you may need a tax professional. I just did it myself. I've always just done my taxes myself, but just know that. And if you really get into it, you get to write off like mileage and trips to go source stuff. So if you go somewhere specifically for sourcing items, you could write that mileage off or the food off that you buy while you're there, things like that. So if you kind of want to get into reselling or learning more, you need to learn about brands and styles. And I'm not just talking about mall brands. When I have told people in the past that I was reselling, they're like, oh, I want to get into it. And they would just sell things they would find at the mall, like American Eagle, Hollister, Under Armour, whatever brands you find at like JCPenney's or whatever. Like those things are not going to sell. You need high quality pieces, and you also need pieces that are in style. When I'm thrifting, a lot of times I will find Lululemon pants, but they're like the big wide leg yoga pants from like 10 years ago. And those just don't sell for what the nice leggings with the side pockets do. So you need to know styles. And I find that the best way to learn both of these things is by searching for YouTube videos, reselling YouTube videos, where they kind of go through and talk about each piece, like what it looks like, what features it has, and what brands. And a lot of times they'll even tell you how much it's sold for or how much it's going to be selling for. Next would be Instagram. I used the hashtag reseller community. I mean, this was years ago, probably back in 2017 is kind of when I got started in all this. But people would post haul pictures, and they would post like pictures of all of the tags of the stuff they bought, like all in one picture. And I would just memorize those tags. So when I was out thrifting or wherever I was sourcing my clothes, if I saw one of those tags, I know instantly to stop and look at the piece. And that will save you a lot of time, is looking at each thing, pulling it out, researching it, whatnot. And when you start out reselling, you should always sell your own stuff, because then you can use that money to buy pieces instead of going out and spending money. Start with money from selling your own stuff, and that way you don't have to worry about going into debt or using money that you had allocated in your budget for something else. I find that that's the best way to start gaining some income to resell. So after you have some pieces, it's good to see if you can quickly Google like the style of it. So there's a lot of pieces that have specific names for for the brands. So there's like, for like Lululemon, you have like Wonder Unders, or you have the Align leggings, and like people search specifically for those words. So you kind of want to have an idea of what the pieces. Free People has a lot of names for their pieces, and typically it's easy to look up by just Googling kind of what the piece looks like, or if there's anything that's out of the ordinary. So like these are some Lululemon leggings I have, and I can't remember what the name of this is, but these are some I thrifted a few months ago. But they have these dots on the bottom. So I would search blue high-waisted leggings with dots on the side, and the style will probably come up. Lululemon is kind of harder to find the style names for. You kind of have to dig a little bit. But when people are shopping and they know exactly what they want, they know that they love the Align leggings, they're going to search in Lululemon Align leggings, and they're not going to just weed through all of the leggings, because some people don't want to waste their time doing that. So it's important to have the style name. Next is pictures. You want to take good pictures, and you want to use good lighting. Natural lighting is the best. So right now, the lighting for this video, I have just propped up my camera in front of a window to give me natural light. You can also, people use all sorts of lights, like umbrella lights, box lights, whatever, but natural light is free if you have nice weather. So it's typically the easiest to do. So you want to take good pictures of what you're selling, because that's the only way that people can view it before they buy it. So you want the lighting to be good, and you want to take pictures of any flaws, because that way people won't be surprised when they get your piece and like want to send it back to you for a refund. If you just plainly lay it all out on the table beforehand, you're less likely to get returns or people upset. So you want to take good pictures. And then next you have to have a good title. And a lot of people that are new to Poshmark will put things just like dress as their title. And that's really hard for people to search for a consumer to find an item they're looking for. They're not going to find it by just typing in dress. So you want to use descriptive words in the title. So these are Lululemon leggings. And for the description of these ones, they have a side pocket. So I would say side pocket, because that's important to a lot of moms or just people in general. I would list the style name like we said before. So I figure out whatever style this is. I would say these are high-waisted, because that's another thing people are looking. So if I was making a title for this, I would do Lululemon, whatever the style name is. Let's say they're the Align leggings. Lululemon Align legging, high-waisted, side pockets. That's kind of probably what my title would look like. I use a lot of popular words that people search for, which is side pockets, high-waisted, Lululemon, and the style name according to Lululemon. Here's another thing for a description or a title. So this is a North Face jacket. There's something in the pocket of this jacket. Rocks from our last trip we went on. Okay, so for this description of this jacket, I would say the North Face thermal ball jacket, gray. That might be all I say. That might just be enough, because I mean, you could say like quilted, because it has like that quilted look to it. But I don't think there's much more would be needed to say. And then for the pictures that I would take of this, I would take it laying flat, front, back, one of the inside. I would take a picture of the tag showing the size. Sometimes people like to take pictures of the materials. I don't always take pictures of the materials. But that's it. And I could probably get, I don't know, my guess would be like $70 for this jacket. Next, so a good rule of thumb is the brand name, the style, the features. Next, you're going to do your description. And your description, I typically leave it short and sweet. Some people will put in measurements of like the inseam or the rise, which is like how high it comes up. I don't. I only give people that information if they ask me to, because it takes a lot of time for me to pull up my measuring tape and measure everything. And I just like to be quicker than that. If someone asks, I will pull out my measuring tape, measure it, and tell them. But typically I don't get a lot of people asking those things. So in my description, I will just say like in good used condition, unless it's brand new. In good used condition, no known flaws. But if there are flaws, I will list them after that. And that's literally all I put. I don't make it too hard on myself because I'm a mom, I got things to do, and I need to list quick. Then it will ask you a series of questions after that, which you should answer them to the best of your ability. It makes searching your stuff easier. It'll ask you for the colors. It'll ask you the size, and make sure you clearly put all those things in exactly as they are. Don't like change the size. If the size is 6, you put a 6. If the size is a 2, you put a 2. And then it'll ask you for the original price. If you know the original price, go ahead and put it in. If you don't, you can just put 0 and then the price you want to sell it at. Poshmark now will kind of tell you what it sells for, but don't be afraid to put your own price. Now, the next thing you're thinking is, well, how do I know what price to list it at? And this is where my favorite part comes in. My favorite thing to do is search for solds. So when you're on the Poshmark app, you can search for the item you have. And then in the filter tab, you can go down to, I think it's availability. And you can just hit the sold button in there. And it'll just show you the things that sold. So you can find your exact item and see what it sold for. Note that sizes sell differently. Plus size usually will sell for more. Smaller sizes typically sell for less, but not always. So then what I like to do is find 3 or 4 solds. I try to find it as close as possible, like as close to the same color. Sometimes you can't, and that's okay. Find as much information about it as you can in solds and see. So you take a few items that are similar to yours or are yours, see what they sold for, and that kind of can give you a baseline for what you can sell yours for. A lot of people, when they get into reselling, they get nervous about the whole shipping aspect because it can seem like, if you've never done it before, it can seem overwhelming. But Poshmark does make it super simple. Like, you just have to, once your item sells, they email you a label. You just print it off on your computer. You can even print it off from your phone. I've done it from my phone before. And then you can put it on a package. The way their shipping works is if it's under 5 pounds, you can pretty much ship it in any normal size box, envelope, whatever. I like to reuse boxes of things. So when I get sent stuff in the mail, I will just save the box and reuse it to send stuff back. That way I don't have to pay for boxes. But USPS does have free boxes that you can ship stuff in for Poshmark, which is really nice. I also keep like padded envelopes. When stuff gets sent to me in padded envelopes, I just save those and reuse them. And I've never had like a review complain that I reuse something. Typically people like when you reuse something. And then when Poshmark tells you how to package it up, they like write a cute note, put some tissue paper in it. I just don't do any of that stuff. I literally put the item in the bag, smack the label on, and I've never had a bad review because of that. I've heard of people that wrap their stuff in tissue paper, and if it somehow gets water in there, it can ruin whatever's the tissue paper is touching. So like, that doesn't sound fun. And a nice note is fun, but I kind of just think it's a waste of paper and time. Like, when I get a package, it's all cute. I just take the note. I'm like, oh, cool, they wrote a note, and you just throw it away. So like, it doesn't seem worth it to me to spend my time writing a nice little note. Yeah, you just fold it up nicely, put it in the package, slap the label on, and then you can drop it in any like blue mailbox near you, or drop it off at the post office, or you can arrange pickup with USPS from your house if you have a few that you need to mail off and you can't leave your house. So that's pretty great. So now that you have sold a few of your pieces and maybe you have some money, where do you source? For me, it's typically thrift stores and yard sales. Thrift stores are great, especially if you are doing it more as a business, because you can save those receipts and file them with your taxes as cost of goods. Yard sales, you can't really do that. But yard sales, you can typically find things for cheaper and better quality for less than prices you'll find at thrift stores. But there's still money to be made at thrift stores. So these Lululemon leggings I showed you, I did get them from Goodwill, only because Goodwill didn't realize they were Lululemon, or they would have been marked up. But I got them for $4.99, and I could probably sell them for at least 40 or 50 bucks. So that's a really good return. Fortunately, they fit me, so I'm not doing that. Yard sales, like I said, are amazing. You typically can find clothing pieces for 50 cents to $1. So even if they're not as great of brands, you can still make a decent amount of money back on them. A lot of resellers, their rule of thumb is they want to sell the item for 10 times more than they bought it for. But I don't necessarily always do that. I think if I spend $5 and I know I can make $25 and it'll sell really quickly, I'll do it. I mean, why not? Poshmark does take 20% of whatever you make, which is pretty steep, but I think that the ease of the platform makes it worth it. You can always do things like eBay that takes less, but you have to put in the exact dimensions of the boxes you're shipping it in. You have to know the weight of it. There's a lot more details that go into that, which makes it a little less user-friendly for a beginner. I know that Facebook Marketplace does stuff too now. I haven't used it, so I can't really tell you how it works, but you can also sell stuff and ship it on Facebook Marketplace. So you've now watched this video, you're getting some ideas in your head. Fall stuff is about to come out. That means list your jeans, list your boots, list your jackets, anything fall worthy, list it now, because the sooner you get that stuff out, the more likely it is to sell. If you start listing it in another month or two, it might not sell as well as it is right now because people are thinking back to school, they're thinking of cool weather. I hope that was helpful. I hope that it kind of gave you a little bit more grasp of what to do and how to use the platform. There's many platforms out there. Like I said, this one is just so simple to use, and that's why I like to tell people, especially beginners, to try it first. This is typically the platform I use because it's so easy. It just, as a mom, I just don't have a lot of time and it's simple. Those are my tips. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Go list some stuff and make some money. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.